mantras of our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo writes, Om Tat Sat Jyotir Aravinda. Om Satyam Jnanam Jyotir Aravinda. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, let us meditate on the most auspicious form of Savitri, on the light of the Supreme, which shall illumine us with the truth. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With my blessing, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Words of our Divine Mother from the collective works of our Divine Mother, Question and Answers, Volume 7, page 11. Question: Sweet Mother, when can one say that one is ready for the integral yoga? For this, our Divine Mother says, when one has established in oneself a perfect equality of soul in all circumstances, that is the indispensable condition, the absolutely necessary basis, something very quiet, very calm, very peaceful, and the feeling of a great force. Not the quietness that comes from inertia, but the feeling of a concentrated strength which keeps you always equal, whatever happens, even in the midst of the most terrible circumstances of life. Our Divine Mother says, certain signs precede this state and show that you are well on the way. A time comes, for example, when you feel literally imprisoned in the ordinary consciousness, squeezed as it were within something extremely narrow and hard. You feel suffocated. The constraint becomes almost unbearable. You try to free yourself only to knock against walls that seem to be made of bronze. That means that the consciousness within has reached a point where the outer mouth has become too small for it. The ordinary life, the ordinary activities, the ordinary relations all appear so small, so petty. You feel within yourself a force.
Opened before Savitri, a guidance turned the dumb revolving wheels, and in the eager body of their speed, the dim-masked hooded Godhead rode, who moved assigned to man immutably from his birth, receivers of the inner and outer law, at once the agents of his spirit's will and witnesses and executors of his fate.
Our Divine Mother says, you feel within yourself a force that is about to burst open this too narrow covering. Yet another sign is that whenever you concentrate and aspire, you feel a force, a light, a peace coming down into you. You aspire, and the answer is immediate. This shows that the relation is well established. Question: Sweet Mother, when there is this sensation of being imprisoned in something too narrow, what is to be done? For this, a Divine Mother says not to be violent, and above all, violence only exhausts you without any result. If you are conscious of the flame within, gather all your power of aspiration, concentrate it intensely in a call on this flame. Throw into it whatever you can so that it may blaze more and more, yet remaining as quiet as you can. If you are restless, if you flutter, if you become nervous, you will arrive nowhere. Be perfectly at peace, be trustful, the answer will come. And when you are in this state, all your force and aspiration concentrated into the flame within, then slowly exert a pressure on that, on what is the outer crest, without violence but with insistence. And as long as you can, without getting agitated, irritated, or excited, if you do that, you are sure to succeed. Not the very first time, it is certain, but begin as often and as long as it will be necessary until the day when all on a sudden you come out into an ocean of light. Question, sweet mother, how can one work to help in changing the conditions of the present world? For this, a Divine Mother says, looking at the actual state of the world, many are the people who despair and groan. Why is this world so frightful? But it is quite useless to lament. What is useful is that it should change. Since the world is detestable, we all agree on that point. Since it is not what it should be, the only thing for us to do is to work so that it may be different. But how individually to make it otherwise? A Divine Mother says there is one means within the reach of all, and that is to change oneself. If you can tell yourself, I do not know very well what I am, but this combination of things that constitute me is perhaps my share of the work, and if I can do it as best as I can, perhaps that would be the best I could do. That is a very great beginning, very great. And it is not crushing, it is not beyond the limit of your possibilities. You have always in your hand, one might say, a field of action in proportion to your strength, and it is manifold, complex, vast, and profound, enough to be interesting, an unknown world into which to go for new discovery. Perhaps you will tell me, but then it is egoism. It is egoism if you do it in the egoistic way for your personal profit. If you try, for example, to acquire powers, to become strong, to as to influence others, if you seek means to make your life comfortable, naturally, in that case, it will be egoistic. A Divine Mother says, besides, remember that you will gain nothing. You will begin to deceive yourself. You will five in the midst of glowing illusions and fall back into greater and greater obscurity. Things are organized much better than one believes. The condition required is an absolute sincerity in your aspiration for the realization of the divine work. If you start like that, I can guarantee you that you will make such an interesting voyage that even if it takes a very long time, you will never be tired of it. If you have a strong will and unfailing perseverance and that indispensable good humor which enables you to smile at all difficulties and errors, then everything will go well. Quote from Sri Aurobindo's book, The Supramental Manifestation, page 86. The descent of the supermind will bring to one who receives it and is fulfilled in the truth consciousness all the possibilities of the divine life. It will take up not only the whole characteristic experience which we recognize already as constituting the spiritual life, but also all which we know exclude from that category. Questions, sweet mother, what is that we exclude? For this, our Divine Mother says, that depends on people. Here we profess that we exclude nothing. It is just that we have admitted that all human activities whatsoever, including those that are considered the least spiritual, but I must say it is more difficult to change their nature. However, we try, we put in all possible goodwill.
Yet the argent dawn, where jewel lamps flickered on frescoed walls, and the stone lattice stared at moonlight bound, half conscious of the tawdry, listening night. Dimly she glided between banks of sleep, at rest in the slumbering palaces of kings.
These are the words of our Divine Mother.
When the pale dawn slipped through night's shadowy guard, vainly the newborn light desired her face. The palace waked its own emptiness. The sovereign of its daily joys was far. Her moonbeam feet tinged not the lucent floor. The beauty and divinity were gone. The light had fled